Thanks to Ubisoft for providing me early access to this content. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Finally, the embargo is lifted and I can show you everything I know about Season 6. This video is just that. This is everything I've played over the last week. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's go. All right, real quick before we get into it, I'm going to be breaking this video down into chapters. So if you're looking for something specific, head to the description. I don't want to waste your time with any of my talking or, just me being excited about the update in general. So definitely check the description and, go straight to the thing that you're looking for. All right, let's start out with the map itself, because the map is going to be the thing that sort of got the most significant changes, and it sort of sets the stage for all of the other changes that we've got. So basically, I'm driving around right now in the new Red Bull playground. This thing is absolutely massive. It takes up this entire flat spot up here by the volcano. So here's the volcano here. To the left of that, you have like this open spot here, but then when you get closer to this, here is the playground. Now this thing is absolutely massive. There are two tracks associated with this. There's a dirt track and there's a an actual road track. Both of them are just wonderful to drive. They flow, they have really nice lines. They kind of intersect with each other as well. So like when you go through let me see if I can find it, this one. So basically you have the dirt section here, kind of goes around. You have multiple ways to get to this road here. There's a jump, and then you go under the bridge and out, and then it goes into this road here. Now that's kind of nice because it allows for proper rally, which is on multiple surfaces. It comes out down here, and as you come out over here, one of the courses will have you sort of bank this way and go back onto the rally course. So you kind of rejoin over here. So it's really nice, actually. You can see there's tons of different sections here for this off-road course. Lots of opportunity to play around with different ways to make different races. And I know they did a couple of rally courses in the playlist. We'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, you've got tons of different places to play. Lots of jumps here, especially for motocross and rally and all the off-road cars. Tons of track to play with. Lots of look at this looping over and under type of situation. This one leads to a giant jump over here, which happens to be one of the new feats. Again, we'll talk about that in a second. I just want to talk about the overall scale of this thing. You can see it's absolutely massive. It also leads up to this, giant jump at the end here that just takes you straight off the mountain. Again, just super fun changes, and that's exactly what this entire update is all about. It's about having fun. It's having a variety of things to do, and this is the biggest change to the map. They've added this playground, so this is your big map change. Now, in addition to that, they've got smaller map changes as well. You got to see that a little bit in some of the teaser footage that they gave us. But basically, let me see if I can find some. You get some of these what they call Motorfest presents or whatever. So this is basically saying that the festival is here. You basically just have all these different design type elements. There's another one that I don't remember exactly where it is. There's a whole bunch of whales and a jump. I don't remember. Oh, it's here. So they have these types of things where they've added all of this signage and this news van, and you can take this dirt path up to this big jump. You've got these big whales flying in the sky, which I don't even know how they came up with that. It's weird, but yeah, you've got a lot of this type of stuff all around the map, and I'm not going to be able to show you every single piece. You're going to have to maybe just explore a little bit as you go through and play this update. Anyways, let's move on. All right, next up, let's talk about PVE content. So obviously the most glaring content, or the biggest thing here, is definitely the Red Bull Speed Clash playlist. So this playlist has 7 new events. You got a couple of dirt specific events. Then you've got some racing on the track type events. This one happens to be with a bike. And then you got some multi-category, some AGP, another multi-category, and another multi-category. So basically these multi-category races are you racing in one vehicle type while racing against AI in another vehicle type. If you were to do this with your friends, you could choose multiple vehicle categories and race against each other and try to figure out, who's fastest in what category. It's kind of nice. It's actually sort of a neat little twist on the general gameplay. And basically, this is the only place you can do this in the Speed Clash playlist. So like I said, 7 new events. You've got 9 side activities, which include the long jumps. You've got an escape. You've got the new slalom, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 photo ops. So just a few here. Then as far as challenges go, 26 new challenges. They're you know, just like the other challenges, they feel a little bit like a checklist, you know, something you have to just do. A lot of like drive from point A to point B, that type of thing. This one is like collect 5 treasure boxes on Maui. Obviously has nothing to do with the Red Bull Speed Clash, but for these challenges you do get some nice vanities. We'll go over the vanities in just a moment, but basically 26 challenges. And then for custom mode, you got basically everything you can do with all of the events, with the exception of these 2 rally events that are at the front of the playlist, and the plane, helicopter, and jet, which by the way, we're getting a new category of vehicle called the jet. I can't show you anything on this, but it exists. You can see it's right here. It's here. There's no jet in the game as of the launch of season 6, but obviously it's coming because we have this category. All right, next up we got 17 new weeks of summits, which means 4 months of main stage themes. The first one being this one, Red Bull XP. The other ones are yet to be announced. In addition to that, there's going to be 4 main stage cars that will make their return in the main stage legacy playlist. The first is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo X Black Knight Edition in March. In April, we're going to get the Chevy Camaro ZL1 Rift Edition. In May, we're going to have the Porsche Carrera GT Flash Edition. And then in June, the Mazda RX-8 Thunderwave Edition. These are all previously exclusive cars in the Crew 2 that if you did not own and play the Crew 2, you could not get these cars here in Motorfest. And then they released them in the main stage. And now, if you missed the main stage, let's say you just weren't playing the game at that time, you can go back to the main stage legacy and earn these cars. Again, that first one for this month of March will be the Lancer Evo 10 Black Knight Edition. All right, now the moment that a lot of you guys have been waiting for, new additions to the Prestige shop. If you go over here to Prestige tickets, we have some new stuff and confirmation now that they are not getting rid of the old stuff. So the idea with this whole shop is to get rid of the FOMO that everyone's talking about. If you missed out on some of this stuff in the summits, then you can go back here and buy this with Prestige tickets. Season 1 staying, Season 2 staying, Season 3, and there it is, the car that everybody wants, the Black Panther Skyline. This thing goes for 4,735 Prestige tickets, and you can just purchase it and check the you know, you got a couple of different color options here. You got the darker theme or the lighter theme. I think everyone kind of goes with the lighter theme, but there you go. You can actually test drive it too. If you don't have the Prestige tickets yet, take it out for a test drive and see if you actually are going to like it. But there you go. It's in the shop along with the Dragon Clash Underglow, the Crew Underglow, the Firebird Nitro, that Blue Nitro, and then the Stereo Tire, the Drift Racing Tire, and the Wild Racing Tire. All of this stuff is back. These are all Summit exclusive rewards or custom show rewards. This is very cool that they brought these back. And these 4 cars are the Summit exclusive platinum rewards for season 3. So this gives you a confirmation of how they're going to be treating this Prestige store. Basically, this is season 6 and we're getting season 3 stuff. So it's basically 2 seasons removed, right? So this stuff came out in season 3. We missed 4, 5. It's in 6. So the stuff in season 4 will be the next Prestige store that we get. All of the exclusive items from season 4. All right, up next, let's talk about vanities. We've got a bunch of new rewards for this season. In fact, 25 new rewards. There's actually a total of 39 rewards for this season in various things like, you know, the main stage or the playlist or the challenges, all of the different places you can earn these things. But there's only 25 new vanities. But 25 new vanities sounds like a lot to me because from what I can gather, it seems like most of the vanities that we've seen in Motorfest are just Crew 2 vanities that are brought over to Motorfest, which is a little bit frustrating. So to me, it's kind of nice to see a whole suite of new vanities make their way into the game. And this is kind of what I expected when we're this far removed from the end of life with the Crew 2. Some of these vanities, I'm not 100% sure how you earn them because they just are in this build that we have. They didn't tell us like it's a reward for a specific challenge or any of this stuff. So I'm just gonna let you know if it's a purchasable vanity, that means it's either something you purchase in the vanity store or it'll be coming with later iterations, like in a different month or like a different main stage or like a different something later on, and you would earn it via challenges. So I'm not 100% on that, but I will show you the ones that you can earn this month and that you can start working on right now. Everything else is either purchase or you know, you'd have to earn it with future content. So let's go over that. Let's start with the tires first. The very first tire, this Apex tire, is earned via 3 challenges in the Speed Clash playlist. The next one is the flashing Yamaha tire. This one is purchasable or future content. Then we have the Laurel tire. This one is also purchasable or possibly in future content. And then the last one, we have the flashing light tire, which again is purchasable or possibly in future content. All right, let's move on to the smokes. There's only 2 smokes that have been added that are new, and that is the Apex smoke. That's for completing 4 challenges in the Speed Clash playlist, and the light speed smoke, which you actually have to purchase. You can purchase this 2 ways. You can go to the store and it's 9,000 cc. It's a $9 vanity. They're introducing a new price point here, which I've never seen, and it's kind of pricey. That being said, it is an evolving vanity, meaning it changes depending on how fast you're going. It is cool looking. I don't know if it's $9 cool, but they are offering it in the welcome bundle for season 6. So if you go to the welcome bundle, you make sure you purchase the car with bucks first. Go to the welcome bundle. There's 2 vanities there. It's not super expensive. It's somewhere around like $7 to $12. You get a couple of new vanities, which include that light speed tire. So that's the cheapest way to get it. I think it's a 45% discount there. All right, moving on to the nitros. There's 4 new nitros in the game, so let's talk about those. And they are the Color Rage Nitro. This one is earned for season 6, week 4. In the custom show. You have to get platinum in the custom show on week 4. There's also the Purple Beam Nitro. This one is available for doing 22 challenges in the Speed Clash playlist. And then we have the Red Fury Nitro. This one is going to be one of those purchasable or future content ones. And then we have this Zeus Nitro, which is also going to be purchasable or possibly future content. Moving on to the underglows, there's 4 underglows that are new this season. We have the Apex Underglow, which you get for getting to level 10 in the main stage. And then we also have the Bold Underglow, which is purchasable or future content. The Motorfest X Underglow, which is purchasable or future content. And then the Psychedelic Underglow, which again is going to be purchasable or possibly future content. The Psychedelic one is by far my favorite of the 4. It just looks the coolest and it's got some movement to it. So I really like that one. All right, window tints. We've got 1 window tint this season. It's called the Apex window tint, and it's going to be one of those purchasable or future content type things. It's not in the store right now. It's not actually in the game. I think you have to earn it later on, but we'll see what happens with that one. We've got 1 horn. Also, this horn is called the Motorfest podcast horn. It kind of gives you the like Red Bull, it gives you wings type of thing, like the commercials. Let me go ahead and play it so you can hear it. There you go. See, it's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's whatever. It's a fine horn, but I got all the ones that I like more, so it is what it is. Now this is cool. We got 3 new engine sounds. I'm gonna take you through each one using this Ford Puma. I'll just go ahead and play the video clips because these sounds are actually insane. They sound really nice. They sound really good in tunnels, and on this car in particular, I just love all 3 of these kits. So we'll take you through those right now, and then we'll come back for a couple more vanities. All right, we do have one new rooftop vanity called the Bold Rooftop. This one is going to be purchasable or earned in future content, and it's actually really cool. It's a plane that follows your car around, and it kind of just swings back and forth and moves around. I actually really like this. I think they need to add more of this type of vanity where you have, you know, some movement or some style that goes with it. I really hope they add more of this in the future. All right, and then the last category, dashboard figures. We've got 5 new dashboard figures, which to me are just whatever. The number of people that play in first person mode to be able to see these dashboard figures is very, very small. But if you're one of those people, you'll be happy to know there's an Apex driver dashboard figure, which is purchasable or possibly future content. They've got the Bold driver, again, purchasable or future. And then the foam V sign, which you can get for level 1 in the compete timeline for this first month. Then we've got the racing flags, which will be purchasable or possibly future content, and the Speed Clash dashboard figure, which will be purchasable or future content. Next up, we got a couple of rewards that you can use to customize your profile. We got 2 new racing suits. One's called the Motorfest Playground, and that's earned for level 4 on the compete timeline in this first month. And then we have the Red Bull Speed Clash racing suit, which will be earned with the Speed Clash challenges. When you complete 10 challenges, you'll earn that suit. And then we have a helmet, the Motorfest Playground helmet, and you can earn that for level 4 on the Explorer timeline in month 1. And lastly, we've got 6 new titles for you to earn. They're earned for various things. You got level 20 in the main stage, level 50 in the main stage, Speed Clash custom mode, you complete all 65 events, and then the Speed Clash challenges, all of those, you're gonna get a title for all of that stuff. And I know this was a ton of information to throw at you in terms of vanities, but I wanted to highlight this a lot in the video because I feel like they're making an effort to try to show you some new customizable stuff that we really just haven't had a lot of in this game. So here's the full list of rewards that you can expect for season 1, at least for right now that I can find. There might be some more hidden stuff that we didn't get in this build, but this is the full list of stuff and how to get it. All right, let's move on to the PvP content. Now, we got details on PvP content about a week before this update went live. However, I have a bone to pick with Ubisoft on this. They did not lower the amount of players necessary to start a grand race. It is still stuck at 14, even in this test build, which means it's almost impossible for me to actually get into a grand race. Like, I have to communicate with people and hope that they're in the early access program and then try to get 14 of us on at the same time in order to start a race. It's absolutely unacceptable, and they need to fix it to only be either 2 people or 1 people, just by yourself, so that we can explore all of the grand race stuff by ourselves. Like, we need to be able to do this in order to make the content, in order to actually promote this part of the update. That being said, let me go over the changes that they have suggested, and I'll give you an idea of what I got to experience in the previous test session, so you can just kind of get an idea. But I have no footage to show you, which is why I'm showing you old grand race footage from a couple of days ago. There's nothing I can share with you there. So let's talk about it. Weekly themed grand races. I have no idea what this means. I didn't get to experience it in the thing, but they're talking about it in this article. So my guess though is that we're gonna have themes that are similar to the summits. Like right now we have the summits and the custom show and the main stage, and they all follow a similar like theme. Like there's a named theme for the week, and those events all follow that. I'm guessing that we'll have something like that. It wasn't in this build, but they're talking about weekly themed grand races. Anyways, there's a list of new modifiers. From what I gather, watching this like grand race timer here in the activities menu, there are at least 4 modifiers. You got special weather, you got no collisions, you got main stage, and you got special selection. So the special weather obviously is what it is. We're going to be getting various types of weather that will impair the vision, or the, you know, the nighttime versus daytime, that type of thing. You've got no collisions, which we actually have right now. You've got main stage, which will restrict your vehicles to only the main stage vehicles. And then we've got another vehicle restriction to special selection, which is going to be even more restrictive. And in this case, it is like just restricting to Red Bull vehicles, which I honestly, I can't stand. I really can't stand. I know all of you guys are like, oh, I'm tired of seeing meta out there, but like the reality is it doesn't matter what other people drive as long as you're driving what you want. And now that things are being restricted, you can't even drive what you want. So I'm not super happy with these modifiers, but I will say I have not played them either. So I'm open to the possibility of liking it. my initial reaction is that I'm not a fan of it. Anyways, let's move on. We've got new Grand Race routes. The only thing I could find was a brand new hub for the Grand Races, which is called La Haina or La Haina. I can't even tell you how to say it, but this one is the one that I found. Generally, when they add a new Grand Race hub, or where they start the race, that means there's new routes. So that's where I'm coming up with this. I have no idea. Again, didn't get to play any Grand Races here in the early access. The other thing they're going to add is all-day modifiers. Every Saturday, the modifiers will be active for 24 hours. It says modifiers with an S, meaning plural, meaning all 4 of those modifiers that I told you should be active all day, and it should be rotating. I don't know if that's the case, but that's the inkling that I get, is that we're going to have basically a rotation of just modified races. Next up, we have dynamic no collisions. Now, I did have limited experience with this in the previous TTS session, and what I've noticed is that it seems to only work at the beginning of the race. Like, the speed that you have to be going in order for the no collisions thing to happen is very, very slow. And so that means you're really only going to be avoiding people via this dynamic no collisions mechanic when you're both going really, really slow at the start of the race. It does help a lot with people who got DC'd, or people who are just not ready for the start of the race and not paying attention, or walked away from their controller. It does help with that, because you don't have to just like automatically swerve to get around somebody. You can literally just press the gas and go straight at the beginning of the race, and you will be ghosted through people. Now, again, don't have a clip to show you on this, but that was my experience in that previous TTS session. I did not see this affect anything in those really hard 90-degree corners. If you were going really slow in a 90-degree corner and someone else was going really, really fast in that corner, they could still spear you and hit you in the corner. It didn't work in that situation, and I think we need it for that situation. So hopefully they made some adjustments. I didn't get to play it since that previous TTS build. We gave them the feedback. Let's see what happens when the season launches, but I really hope that's the case. And lastly, with Grand Races and PvP, they added the ability to leave the Grand Race the second you cross the finish line. This is nice. It does help. It makes it so you can get multiple Grand Races in very, very quickly. You don't have to wait for everyone to finish the race. It is kind of nice, and it's a nice little quality of life change for the Grand Races and for PvP. All right, next let's talk about vehicles. This one is an exciting one because this is the first season, the first update that they made lots of changes to the handling. They just rebalanced a bunch of cars. In fact, around 70 cars received handling and or top speed updates. And because I was really busy working on a lot of this content that you're going to see in the next few days, I did not have the time to go through and test 70 cars. But there is a savage out there that did do that, and he is named Simji. So Simji made a video on this. You guys need to go check it out. This video is unreal. He did a crazy amount of work. He tested every single car, basically, I think, except for some of the motocross ones, but basically all the cars. He tested them in the new build and then tested them a second time in the old build of the game. So he's got season 5 data and season 6 data, and it's unreal the amount of work. So go check out that video and you can see the difference between every single car. He's laid it out nicely. He's got tons of data and tons of just presentation with this. So that video is excellent. Go check that out. I'll put a link in the description for that one. Now, in addition to the old vehicles, we're actually going to be getting 17 new vehicles with this update. I'm going to talk about the ones that I can. There's a whole bunch of them that they haven't announced yet. So let's talk about the ones that are available right now in season 6. First up, you've got the Ford Puma Hybrid Rally 1. This is a year 2 pass car, so you cannot get this unless you earn the year 2 pass until next week. You can buy it next week in the store. You've also got the Red Bull RB20. That one will be purchasable right now when the update goes live. You got the KTM R Experience Red Bull Ring Racing car. This one also will be purchasable right now. And then lastly, you got the Ferrari 488 GT3 AF Corsa, which is also a racing car. That is the playlist reward for the brand new playlist, so you can go and earn that right away when the update goes live. Now, in addition to the Puma, we've got more year 2 pass cars coming. You've got the BMW M4 Red Bull Drift Brothers. This is a drift car coming on April 2nd. And if you're in the playground and you have the real players or replayers on, you can see it drifting around this little drift section over here. All right, next up in May, you've got the Audi RSQ e-tron, which is a rally vehicle. This one we do not have pictures of, but I'm just going to show you a picture of a real one for this one. And then the last one on June 4th for this season is the Mini John Cooper Works GP. That's actually going to be a Street 1 car, so nice little addition there at the end of the season. In addition to that, they told us we can share. There is a new Asus GT racing car that will be coming. I can't show you a picture of it due to the NDA, but you can maybe imagine what I'm describing. It's basically the same lines as the Stealth Edition in terms of the bodies, but a much more aggressive spoiler that connects to the bumper and the outer edges of that bumper. Like, it goes across the top and then it comes down and connects to the bumper. It's a really cool looking design, and it has a black and gold livery or paint job. It does look nice. I'm not expecting it to be any better because I didn't get to play with it, but we'll see what happens. It's in a new category. They've dropped the Asus in the racing category, and it looks good, so it's nice to see. Now, the remaining vehicles have not officially been named officially, which means I can't say anything more than you might be able to find it on the internet somewhere, but I can't tell you what it is. All right, lastly, we are getting a literal jet. Again, I can't show you what it looks like, but imagine a fighter jet, but without the guns. Again, you'll notice that jet category in the Speed Clash playlist, which means some point during season 6, we will be getting a jet, which is kind of fun. I'm okay with it being there. It's fun. All right, finally, let's move on to the very last part of this video. This is a long one. The quality of life changes. They did talk about this already, but no traffic in summit feats. Now, I don't know how I feel about this yet. I do not like the idea of making feats easier. I don't like the idea of making summits easier. This makes the feats completely useless in the summit. It's like a checklist now. You just have to do this thing. It's not even like a challenge anymore. It's literally just super easy. As long as you have parts, you're gonna get full scores in the feats, and it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I know a lot of you guys, the headaches are gonna be gone. You're gonna be able to one-shot all these feats, but that's kind of the part of the game, right? Like, when you play Mario and you fall in a hole, it's because that hole was there meant to be a hurdle that you have to jump over and try to figure out how to beat it, or, you know, perform a little bit in order to beat it. It's not just like, hey, Mario, let's just run straight. We don't want any enemies or anything in our way or anything. Like, that's part of the game, right? That's part of the challenge. This is the traffic. Now, I do agree with you guys that it shouldn't be RNG. I wish they had a way to make the traffic the same for every single person. Maybe that's that they spawn a specific traffic pattern right when you start the feat, when you go through that starting gate. I don't know. I'm not a dev, so I don't know how this works. But it would be nice to have some sort of hurdle in the way. Driving on empty streets, just going through and hitting all of the flags, or going around all the slalom flags. It's super... It doesn't make any sense. We're just doing this now with 0 cars on the road. It's whatever. All right, let's move on. I'm complaining too much. We got new vehicle restrictions for feats. This is something that I didn't really expect, but I do like this change because it forces you to do something out of what you're used to, which is unlike the PvP thing. The PvP thing is different. This one forces every player to use the exact same car on a very, very specific challenge. I like that. I don't like vehicle restrictions in a broad spectrum 10-minute race, okay, just to clear things up. But I do like this one. Basically, every single week of the summit, the feats are going to have 3 restrictions. Actually, 1 no restriction and 2 restrictions. 1 will be category. The other one will be a very specific vehicle that you have to use. I like it. I think it adds a little bit of a depth in the challenge of the feats, which they took away with removing the traffic. All right, they've also made some improvements to challenges and the way it works. Playlist challenges that require specific vehicles. If you own that vehicle, clicking the challenge will switch you automatically into that vehicle. If you don't own the vehicle, it will show you how much it costs and have a button to go to the store to acquire it. It's awesome. Nice little quality of life change. But then when you click that challenge after you own it, it'll put you in that vehicle. Now, for main stage challenges, if you own the vehicle for the challenge, you'll get a notification to switch into that correct one. If you don't own it, you'll get a notification that'll direct you to the store so that you can buy it. And the build that I was playing already had all of the cars, so I had no chance to like actually test whether or not this was working. I didn't really get to notice it, but this is what they reported. All right, they also added a couple of new settings that I strongly recommend you guys take a look at. And the most important of those is the control settings. Left stick and right stick, 0 dead zone. This gives you a true 0 dead zone on the controller on your left stick. It means your steering will be instantaneous. You can zero this out if you want, but I strongly recommend at least trying to adjust it, maybe 5, maybe 10, depending on if you're on direct mode or not and how sensitive your steering sensitivity is. Now, that is going to play a big factor. Mine is at 90 and 80, and I actually really like the 0 dead zone but I know that other players are in direct mode and maybe they're running 5 or 10. So just play around with this, but this dead zone makes it instantaneous turning. All right, moving on to the collectibles. You have the ability now to hide the collectibles that you've collected. Once you collect something, you can just hide it from the map and it won't show up on your mini map. And that's honestly kind of nice, but there is reason why you would want to see them. Let's say you like a specific piece of artwork, or you know, a specific spot in the map, you just want to go to that and see what you've collected. You can still do that. Just turn it off, turn it on. It's available in the settings. Just go to options, go to game settings, scroll down to display collected collectible, and you can toggle it on and off all you want. Also, when you collect the collectible, the camera is going to actually zoom out and show you what you've collected before returning to your POV. I don't really care about this. It's a very small feature, but they did make the change. Now, lastly, a feature that I actually do like that they put in the game is that now you can fast travel to all of your photo ops that you've completed. This is kind of nice, especially if you focused on them. Now you have a whole bunch more fast travel points, and it makes getting to treasure a little bit easier. It makes getting around the map a little bit easier. It's not something that's going to like significantly change your mind on the whole game. If you're like, this game is boring, I don't like it, fast traveling to photo ops is not going to change it for you, but it is going to make it easier when you're looking for specific spots on the map, or maybe you just love one of the photo ops that you have and you don't like having to fast travel to the nearest activity in order to actually drive there. You just want to go straight to that photo op and take photos of your cars for thumbnails or for, you know, your Instagram or whatever you want. But now you can fast travel to the photo ops. I like it. It's a nice change. All right, guys, I know this was a long video. I hope this was helpful to you. Just remember, if you have any questions about anything, you can send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way. Thank you so much for watching. Happy racing. Trigger out.